Do you know how to help someone with anxiety? Maybe you have a family member, a friend, or your partner who suffers from anxiety, but do you really know how to help them? In this video, I'm gonna give you some strategies to help someone with anxiety. I want to let you know that these videos are not intended to replace in any way any professional psychotherapy, but simply to bring you information on this area. How to help someone with anxiety? The answer here is quite broad, because there are many types of anxiety and everything varies according to each person. However, there are some strategies that you can always use. First, educate yourself about anxiety, the types of anxiety that exist, and the possible treatments. It's not about becoming a doctor, but just being more aware of what they are facing and the ways to address it. Because yes, anxiety is treatable, and generally people take from 3 to 30 years to seek treatment for anxiety. This data will vary depending on the country you are in. It's important that you are informed about the topic so that you can better help your family member, friend, or partner. Here I want to tell you all this as someone who has seen her life shaken by anxieties, and I want to briefly tell you my story, hoping that it will be helpful to you in dealing with your own situation. When I was 19 years old and I had just started studying psychology, I had a panic attack that actually transformed my life. At the moment I had it, I started experiencing palpitations and I felt like I was inside of a movie. I thought I was going crazy, but since I was terrified about going to a psychiatrist, as my idea was that they were going to lock me up in a psychiatric hospital, and I didn't want that, I went to a homeopathic pharmacy where I asked for little pills for nerves. I spent several weeks, I don't really remember how many, where I was terrified to wake up and hope this nightmare would end. Finally, one day, and I don't really know why, I started to feel like I was outside of the movie I used to feel inside. By the way, this feeling of going crazy and feeling inside of a movie are very common symptoms that can occur in more severe anxiety disorders. And they are called depersonalization and derealization. And well, for many years I went to psychological therapy, but unfortunately I wasn't advised correctly and I wasn't urged to see a psychiatrist. Finally, after about 7 years, I decided to go to a psychiatrist, because the truth is that even though I could live my life well, I always live with a floating fear. And honestly, that's where my life changed. He prescribed me medication to manage my anxiety, and along with the psychotherapy I was taking, I was able to get to know what life without anxiety is like again. The truth is, I regret of not going since the beginning, and if I am telling you this today is so that those who are listening to me can seek for help if they need it in time. But well, for a while I stopped taking the medication, but due to different life situations I have had to start taking it again. Of course, always under medical prescription. Although here I want to emphasize that in most cases it's convenient to take medication always combined with psychotherapy, since usually the function of the medication is to stabilize oneself, so through psychotherapy one can learn to use techniques or strategies to face our problems. So if you feel you need help, it's better to see a professional, or if you are already seeing one, always follow the recommendations first. I'm telling you my story so that you can take from it what serves you to improve yours. And because from here I want to leave you 3 important messages. The first is that anxiety is treatable. Don't take so long to seek for professional attention. The second is to always seek for a qualified specialist on the subject. And the third is not to be afraid of medication. Your specialist will determine which is the one that best suits you. By the way, if you're finding the information I'm giving you in this video useful, don't forget to like the video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. But well, changing the subject, here are some information about anxiety. Anxiety is the most common disorder in the world. 4% of the population suffering from it. It's also more common for women to suffer from this disorder than for men. It's common for all of us to feel anxiety from time to time, but when we are really talking about a disorder is when we feel a disproportionate fear and worry, which is usually intense and excessive, and undoubtedly interferes with our daily activities. In the description of this video, I leave you one of the references from the World Health Organization, which I think gives you a good explanation about the types of anxiety and treatments. Just like helping people with depression, it's important that you show up. Avoid saying phrases like, just control yourself, it's all in your mind, or you are exaggerating, or there are those who are worse than you. Instead of this, I invite you to show an attitude of acceptance and openness. Show at all times that you are open to listen. Remember that this is not a moment for making judgments or give advice, but to show that you are there for them. Also normalize the situation. This means letting the person know that what they are experiencing is not something out of this world. And in fact, if you look at the figures, you can tell them that many people also deal with the same problem. It's important not to minimize their experience. Moreover, it's possible to explore the possibility of spending time in nature or taking walks in it together with the person. Research supports that increasing our connection with nature, or in other words, making nature our best friend, can significantly reduce our anxiety. Another resource that is undoubtedly essential for relieving anxiety is breathing. So you can train yourself in different breathing techniques so that when you are with your friend, family member, or partner, you can implement one. I'll leave you a video up here where I precisely show you how to implement a calming breathing technique, which is especially helpful to decrease anxiety. And finally, explore the possibility of meditating. Meditation is a great resource that science also supports and that decreases our anxiety. There are many ways for someone experiencing anxiety to relate better to this discomfort. Because yes, I want to tell you that something we who have anxiety must learn is how to relate to this condition. We must learn to have our own strategies to regain calmness, to ensure that anxiety doesn't take our lives, but rather simply becomes a companion that we know how to deal with when necessary. And finally, it's very beneficial to engage the body when experiencing anxiety. Above, I provide a link to another video where I propose a strategy to transform your emotions. I want to let you know that I also have 2 videos on how to help someone with depression. If you are interested in watching them too, I will leave the links up here. This is all for today, but if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give me your thumb up, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Have a wonderful day. Tschüssi!